Outside, the night air greeted Andre like an old friend. Cool, steady, and honest. His boots crunched across the gravel, each step carrying him farther from Sam Fuller and everything the man had spent decades trying to bury. He didn't feel victorious. He felt emptied, vindicated. His mother had been right all along. The old country store would no longer echo with secrets whispered only in silence. The truth had finally been spoken. His father's name, once buried beneath lies and fear, would never be hidden again. His story breathed once more, and somehow, so did Andre. He climbed into his car and eased onto the empty highway, his hands still trembling, not from fear, but from the overwhelming realization that the truth had finally spoken back. For years, he had believed justice would arrive with sirens, applause, or celebration. Instead, it arrived quietly. It was a phone call that had waited decades to be made. It was a father's name spoken without shame. It was choosing what was right when no one was watching. That was integrity. Not perfection. Not pride. Just truth. Held steady. The old store slowly disappeared in his rearview mirror as the dark highway stretched before him. A cool breeze drifted through the cracked driver's window, filling the car like a long-awaited breath of grace. At a red light, Andre slipped his hand into his pocket. His fingers found the familiar crinkle of a wrapper, a grape sucker. He smiled softly. Such a small, ordinary piece of candy. Yet it had carried the memory of his father through years of unanswered questions, pain, and silence. He slowly turned it over in his fingers. The truth was a lot like that grape sucker. Simple to look at, heavy with meaning. Something people were willing to kill to keep buried. Yet something that always finds its way back into the light when God decides the time is right. Andre didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a son who had finally brought his father's name out of the darkness. When the traffic light turned green, he eased forward. A few miles later, he spotted an old telephone booth standing beneath the lone streetlight on the edge of town. He pulled over. For a moment, he simply stood beside the car. His hands rested on his hips. His chest rose and fell with slow, deliberate breaths. It was as though his heart was still learning how to live in a world where the truth no longer had to hide. The glass door resisted slightly before finally opening. He stepped inside. The booth smelled faintly of old metal and rain. He dropped the coin in, then carefully dialed the number he had carried in his heart his entire life. It rang once, twice. Then, her voice. Soft, gentle, familiar.
Hello?
Andre swallowed hard. His throat tightened until the words almost refused to come out.
Mama.
His voice cracked.
It's me.
He heard her draw in a quick breath, the kind only a mother takes when she senses something has changed before a single explanation is given.
Andre, what is it, baby?
Andre gripped the receiver tightly. It felt like the only solid thing in the world. His voice barely rose above a whisper.
I know what happened.
He paused.
I know the truth about Daddy.
Silence answered him. But it wasn't an empty silence. It was filled with every lonely year she had carried that burden by herself. Finally, she spoke. Her voice trembled.
Lord, have mercy. Are you all right?
Andre slowly told her everything. Not like a man telling a story, but like a son finally laying down a burden he had carried his entire life. When he finished, she didn't answer immediately. He simply listened as she cried. Not loudly, not uncontrollably, just quiet tears. The tears of someone who had survived long enough to finally hear the truth. After a long moment, she found her voice.
I told you.
She took a slow breath.
I told you your daddy wasn't robbing that store.
Andre closed his eyes. A single tear slipped down his cheek.
I know.
He paused.
You were right.
His voice softened even more.
You always were.
Outside the booth, the wind stirred the trees. For the first time in his life, it no longer sounded like the past chasing him. It sounded like freedom. Andre slowly returned the receiver to its cradle. He rested his forehead against the cool glass and closed his eyes. Truth hadn't brought his father back. Nothing ever could. But it had brought his father's name home. And sometimes, that's where healing begins, Mr. Maxwell said.
And that's the end of my story.
For several long seconds, no one spoke. The bus station remained wrapped in a silence unlike any Tony had ever experienced. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was respectful. Mr. Maxwell's story still lingered in the air, settling into every heart that had heard it. Then, almost at once, the room came alive. People nodded. A few quietly wiped tears from their eyes. Others simply smiled, grateful they had been there to hear it. Monty looked at Tony and shook his head in amazement.
Wow, was that a great story or what?
He laughed softly.
You were right about this one, Tony. That may have been the best story I've ever heard.
The station was filled with warm laughter and applause. Even Mr. Maxwell smiled. As the applause slowly faded, Tony looked toward his parents. He figured that this was the right moment to tell them. He took a slow breath.
Mom, Dad,
Both of them looked over.
there's something I need to tell you.
His mother leaned forward, her eyebrows lifting with playful curiosity. A smile spread across her face.
You met Jesus again?
The family burst into laughter. Tony smiled and shook his head.
No, not this time.
He rubbed the back of his neck before continuing.
I met with my guidance counselor today to finalize my schedule for next year.
His parents listened carefully.
Today was the last day to register, and by the time I got there, most of the electives I wanted were already full.
He shrugged.
My required classes were already set, but there was only one elective left.
He paused.
Home economics.
His father slowly raised one eyebrow. Not upset. Just curious. He folded his arms. A familiar smile crossed his face. Tony recognized it immediately. His dad was about to tell a story.
Tony,
He leaned back slightly.
one thing I've learned about people is that we're creatures of habit.
He smiled.
Most folks keep doing the same things over and over until something unexpected forces them to change.
He tilted his head.
That reminds me,
Tony sighed. He already knew where this was headed.
for some reason, that story reminds me of when you were in the second grade.
His father nodded.
Remember when Mrs. Brown sent a discipline note home because you couldn't stop talking?
Tony winced.
Yes, sir.
His father couldn't help smiling.
Instead of bringing it home,
He looked at Tony.
you crumpled it up and threw it away in Mrs. Jones's classroom next door.
Everyone laughed. Tony covered his face.
Yep.
His father continued.
Mrs. Brown knew exactly who she was dealing with.
He chuckled.
After school, she walked right into Mrs. Jones's classroom, dug that note out of the trash, and mailed it home with another letter explaining everything.
The laughter grew louder. Tony finally surrendered. He raised both hands.
All right.
He smiled.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth.
The family leaned closer. Tony took a deep breath.
I don't really enjoy being in the band anymore.
He shrugged.
I'm the last chair in the trumpet section.
A sheepish smile crossed his face.
Truth is,
He laughed quietly.
I'm just not very good.
His mother blinked, then smiled. His father looked surprised. After a moment, his mother reached over and gently touched his arm.
Tony,
She smiled.
we thought you loved being in the band.
She glanced at Monty, then back at Tony.
No, we weren't exactly in love with the sounds that trumpet made around the house.
Everyone laughed again.
But we honestly thought you enjoyed playing.
Tony stared for a second.
Really?
He looked from one parent to the other.
I thought y'all wanted me to be in the band.
His father laughed.
No, son.
He smiled proudly.
We just wanted you to make your own decision.
Tony's shoulders relaxed. A burden he hadn't realized he was carrying quietly disappeared.
That's good to hear.
His father nodded.
So,
A grin spread across his face.
what's the deal with home economics?
Tony laughed.
Well,
He paused.
the choices were band or home economics.
He looked down at an imaginary trumpet.
Considering all the trumpet trauma I've caused this family,
He paused again.
I figured everybody deserved a break.
The family erupted with laughter. His father pointed toward him.
All right then, Chef.
He smiled.
I'm proud of you, son. For making your own decision.
His mother nodded in agreement.
I think you're going to do just fine.
Tony smiled. For the first time in weeks, he felt completely at peace. His father jingled the car keys.
Ready to head home?
Tony looked once more toward Mr. Maxwell, then toward the old bus station. He smiled.
Yeah,
A quiet breath escaped him.
this has turned out to be one unforgettable family outing.
Years later, whenever Tony thought about that afternoon at the bus station, he realized the stories of the past were never meant to stay in the past. They were meant to guide the future. He also realized something else. When they first laughed and joked about Mrs. Rosa Parks earlier that day, they hadn't fully understood the weight of her courage. But now, they do. She wasn't simply a name in a history book. She was a woman who quietly changed a nation by refusing to surrender her dignity. Some stories deserve applause. Others deserve reverence. And the great ones deserve to be remembered, like this one, the grape sucker.